Okay, welcome to my lifestyle chat channel. So basically, during the 6 weeks holiday, this there's my son. So so obviously the kids are off during the summer holidays. So I was feeling a bit I was getting overwhelmed in the holidays with my son because he's quite he's a boy. Boys are like busybodies, and I was getting a bit overwhelmed basically. And I found social workers, and I've had dealings with social workers before in the past, usually because other people are phoning social workers on my behalf. And I really don't like dealing with social workers because I find that they just exaggerate, they tell lies, they tell stories, they exaggerate, and they never really get the facts straight. So I don't really like dealing with social workers, but on this occasion, I myself decided to phone them because I was just I was getting, I don't know what the word is, I was getting overwhelmed. And so some people came out to see me, and basically they were asking me, do I get much support from my family and all of this? And then they were like, why don't you contact your family, for support? I said to them, you know what? My family members, they're all just busy doing their own thing. They're all busy working adults and everyone's just busy doing their own thing. I really don't like to bother them too much. And they said, why don't you contact such and such? I said, to be honest with you, I do sometimes, but majority of the time, I really don't like to bother them. I don't like to bother people. The person at that time, they said, okay, well, shall we contact them on your behalf? I said, okay, then whatever. To be honest, as I said, I really don't like talking with these people, and when I do talk to them, I'll just kind of go into disassociation mode. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. So they were like, would you like us to contact them on your behalf? I said, yeah, whatever. Okay then. They said, give us a list then of people you would like us to contact. So I gave them a list of people in my family for them to contact. And so then they went away and they arranged meetings and whatever else to have meeting in support of myself, in support of my son. And one of my family members, they got back to me. They called me up. I don't see them that often. I hardly ever see them. I hardly ever see anybody because, as I said, everyone's busy. I'm busy as well, But anyway, one of them called up, one of my family members. They said, you know what, we don't really like the fact that you contacted social workers. I said, well, I did that for myself. I did what I feel is necessary for myself. They said, well, we don't really want to be involved in the whole family plan because we don't really want to. They said, if ever you want to come over and see us or you want us to have Omar, your son, you're welcome to. But we don't really want to be a part of this planning with the social workers and this and that. I said, fair enough, I understand that. That's all you had to say, and I totally understand and I totally get it. I said this to them. I said, fair enough. Anyway, so this, as I've been saying in my videos, like, I'm not like a serious Christian. I'll go to church every Sunday and all of this, but basically, I accept Jesus as my saviour, my Lord, my Lord and Saviour, and the fundamental of my basis of my beliefs is Christianity. This family member, they're Muslim, and they're very heavily into the Islamic religion. So basically, about last week, he phoned me, he contacted me, and he said by text message, and he said, so his missus, I'll just call them both my cousins, yeah. He said, my missus, yeah, she's got a wedding to go to, and after that, yeah, because at the moment I'm decorating. So after all of that, we can invite you over for dinner. He said like this. And I just found I found it a bit random, a bit out of the blue. And I just thought, why is he telling me she's got a wedding to go to? I really don't know why he's telling me that. And why is he telling me he needs to decorate? But I do admit, I do give it to them, yeah. This particular family member, yeah, he is like, out of all my family members, I do think, he has compassion in his heart, and he does show, out of all of them, he shows his concern, so I'll give him that much, At least, he, out of everybody, at least he made the effort, I think, to phone me, and show his concern, which, as I said, I rate him for that. I commend him for that. And I give that to him, but I just was kind of feeling like, well, why is he letting me know that she's got a wedding to go to and that he's got decorating and this and that to go to? Like, if he wants to invite me over for dinner, then just invite me over for dinner. You don't need to tell me, like, oh, you got this to do and you got that to do and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But basically, I'm thinking I'm going to text him back
Hello everybody, thanks for joining. I'm going to text him back and say thanks for letting me know that your missus has got a wedding to go to, and I think I'm just going to text him back and say I have a wedding to go to as well. I'm going to say I have my own wedding to go to as well. When I get married, I've got my own wedding to go to. I think I'm going to tell him like this, and then I'm going to tell him personally I don't need to be doing any decoration because I've recently moved into my new apartment and it really doesn't need much decoration. Like all the walls are just nice white walls, so I don't need to put any paint on the walls. I don't even need to go out to IKEA or Dunelm or B&M or anywhere to buy like a lampshade or anything like this because all the ceilings got these like nice spotlights in the ceiling, so I don't even really need to. And plus the kitchen, it's got like its own inbuilt cooker, so I don't even really need to buy anything for this apartment, and I really don't need to be painting or decorating because it's got, as I said, it's got all nice white walls. That's the way I like it. So I don't know why he's telling me that. So basically, I'm going to tell him also, as for coming over for dinner, I'm really just not into this mode of going over, even if it's my family, if it's my friend, of going over to people's houses and sitting with them in the house, sitting around and eating dinner. Like, I find this really boring. And I'm just going to tell him this. I'm really not in the mood. I'm really not interested to go and sit. I feel like a tag along festival because obviously I'm single, okay, and he's married. And I really don't feel to be single, to be going somewhere, sitting on my own. I'm just going to feel like a tag along person, sitting with my cousin and my cousin's missus. If I'm going to go along visiting other people's houses, to sit there and eating dinner and all of this, I prefer to go with my own person, like my own significant other, if it's my partner or my soulmate, or my husband. I prefer to go with a friend or with my boyfriend or my partner or my husband or something like this. But to just go along, sitting in other people's houses, eating dinner, I'm clearly single and they're clearly married. Like there's two of them, there's one of me. I'm just going to be feeling like the tag along person. I'm just going to be sitting there feeling like gooseberry, feeling like the oddbod, like oddball, like the tag along person. So I really don't mind. So I'm just going to tell him this basically in text message. I'm just going to say to him, thanks a lot for the invite, to come over for dinner. But I really don't feel like to come along, to just be sitting around with you in the house. You two are clearly together. I'm clearly single. I don't feel like doing this. I'm not interested to do this. I'm not interested to go sitting in other people's houses on my own as a tag along person, sitting around eating dinner. And furthermore, it actually bores me. It's like senseless. It bores my brains senseless to just be sitting around eating dinner with people. And on top of that, it's just I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to get fit and healthy, and sitting around eating dinner in other people's houses is just making me more fat. It's just making me more fat, more unhealthy, just sitting around eating dinner, okay? I'm finding it boring, okay? And there's just so many other things to do, like why we cannot meet outside. What is wrong with going out? I'm really glad, I'm really grateful, I'm really appreciative that they've invited me over, but I'm just thinking, is this what people do today? Just go around to other people's houses to sit around chatting and eating dinner? Like there's so many other things that we could do. Like I'd be more happy, I'd be more appreciative if they'd invite me to like go, even if we went outside to like a restaurant, to go out, and sit around other people, or there's just so many things to do. We could go bowling, we could go cinema, we could go out like for a walk in the park, like for a walk in nature. Okay, there's just so many other things to do than to just sit around in the house eating dinner. Like I'm getting claustrophobic, and furthermore, I'm getting fat. And then if you decline, if you say, you know what, thanks, but I'm okay, I don't really want to eat right now. Obviously, people get offended. If you go around to eat, they're offering you dinner, and then you're refusing to eat, then they're gonna get offended. So, but I can't see what's with this, like going around sitting with people's houses. So basically, I'm gonna just let him know all of this in text message, right? And the thing is that I'm getting mature. Like I'm in my mid-40s, and I've done all of this before. Like in my previous relationships, I'm talking about the last two most serious relationships I've had. Okay, I've already done all of this. Okay, the relationship I was in before my son's dad, we used to do this. Okay, he had his friends, and he would all the time. We'd all the time. First of all, we would go out. Because he was quite social. We would go out, to wherever. Music do's happening in the area, or just whatever. Out to the theatre, whatever. But he had his own friends, and we would go out and go sit with his friends in his friends' houses, his friends who were couples. I don't know what you call that. Do they call that couples dinner date or something? They've got terms for everything these days. Yeah, so yeah, he was Greek, and all the time we was going like to house parties. He'd be inviting me to his friends' house parties, or sometimes he'd know like couples, like these Italian couples, and we'd go over to the house, sit and have dinner with them. Or he knew this Polish couple. He used to live with them for a while, so we used to go around and have dinner with them, sit and chat with them. It's always basically be inviting me to go to other people's houses. And I was with this dude on and off relationship like 6, 7, 8 years. It got to the point in the last year or so we was together. I got to the point where I used to say to him like, all the time we're going to visit your friends' houses, why they can come to ours? I shouldn't always have to be taking myself to go and sit with them, go meet them. And I said to him, they can come to my place. I can cook dinner. They can come over. They can come to mine. All the time we have to be going to go visit them. They can come visit me. People they wouldn't have been interested. So why should I invest my time? Why should I take it upon myself to go and sit with other people who really truly not interested one little bit in me? Okay, so they're not interested in me. So then why should I be interested to take up my time, take up myself, go traipsing on the bus, through public transport, through all these crowds, to go and sit with them, to go eat dinner or whatever. Like, what happened to going out? Yeah, do people just not go out anymore, or what's going on? I've never been this person to just want to be going to house parties, sitting around people's houses, sitting around and eating dinner. Like, if it's my friends or if it's my family, like, what happened to go? Like, you can go out and enjoy yourself. I find it very claustrophobic. I find it very boring. Just sitting around, what to do? What, like, just chit chatting about what? It's very boring. That was my ex lover, and even like with my son's dad, I've known him for God knows how many years. When I first met him, the same thing. He used to invite me out to go and sit with his ex-missus. So his ex-woman, not missus, just his ex who he was with before me. They weren't married. She's already got grown-up kids. First of all, she's older than me. So this is what I was talking about in another video the other day. Yeah, my ex-lover who I'm talking about before him, used to invite me to go sitting with this person, sitting with that person. He himself, I was with him, but then he'd go and sit with like other black women who were like 10 years older than myself. They've already got 2, 3 children. And he wouldn't invite me like to say, oh, I'm going to such and such places, why don't you come along with me, for us to go like as a couple together. He'd go and sit with them, eating dinner with them, these ladies who are like 10 years older than myself, with their own teenage children. Even by now, they're probably going to be in like their 20s. And then he'd like tell me about 4 weeks later. One time I think we saw her in town. I said, oh, by the way, there's your friend, such and such. He goes, oh, yeah, I was with her just a couple of weeks ago. Oh, yeah, she invited me over, to her place. And I've met her daughters, actually. Like, he wasn't invited and then bring me along as well, so that the two of us went along together as a couple. No, he just was very underhanded, very I found it very sneaky, the way he would, go sitting with other people, and then tell me really nonchalantly, oh yeah, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, I was at her house. Yeah, I was eating really nice, she cooked me, rice and peas and chicken, really nice, with the coconut oil and the bay leaf, and the rosemary, it was so nice, like the Caribbean cooking. And then this is what he'd do, it'd be he'd act as if he'd never tasted Caribbean food before, as if I never had cooked him the same type of food before. So underhandedly, he'd be doing this comparison thing as well. It's you're not outrightly comparing the person, but then at the same time, that's what he was doing, comparing this other person who's got 10 years on me, 10 years experience over me, plus she had her own grown-up children, and he'd go, as I said, investing all this time with this other person. So then similarly, likewise, my son's dad, because they're both narcissists, and what you recognise with narcissistic people is they just do the same things. You're dealing with a different person with exactly the same traits and exactly the same mask on, because it's like being in a different relationship with a different person, but over time you get to know them. They just do exactly the same. It's exactly the same patterns. It's exactly the same relationship. Only it's a different meat suit. It's exactly the same narcissistic spirit in a different meat suit. So when I met my son's dad, and when I first met my son, when we were first going around together, he would be doing exactly the same things. So this is what I'm saying. His previous partner, she's about 10 years older than him. She's about 15 years older than myself, about 11, 12 years older than myself. She's already got grown up she's already got grown up children who were a couple of years younger than him, even than my son's dad, as well as the child that them two share together. So then he'd have me going to visit her, sitting with her, getting to know her, sitting with like his step family. It's like what I'm saying is, yeah, I've already done it. Okay, and I'm in my mid 40s. Like I've already wasted enough of my time with these narcissistic people. So when people now, if it's my friend, if it's my family, when they invite me and say, "Oh, you know what? Come over, yeah, and sit around. Just come over, yeah, and sit and eat dinner with us." Ready, ready, ready. I'm not interested. Okay, I've already done this. Okay, what I'm interested in my life right now is meeting people who put me first, who put me as the priority, not second or third or fourth or fifth priority down on the list. And I know it makes me sound as if I'm being like ungrateful because I'm the one. It makes me seem as if I'm being scatterbrained and indecisive and ungrateful because I'm the one who was asking my family for their support in terms of supporting like myself and my son to just socially include us more. And so this is what I'm saying, that I do appreciate this family member getting in contact with me and inviting me, but at the same time I just find the way he's invited me, I don't find it genuine. I just feel like, why does he have to tell me, oh, by the way, my missus, yeah, she's got this wedding to go to, and by the way, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. But after I've done all of that, I'll invite you around for dinner. I don't want to come and sit around and eat dinner with you, especially if that's the way you're going to invite me. I'm not interested. Because this is what I'm saying. I've already done this, sitting around with people, okay, eating dinner. I've already done it in my last two relationships. And I'm not interested. If you want to invite me out, to go and enjoy like a social time together, to go and enjoy like a social event, to go do something, like eat out in a restaurant, or we go do something, we go bowling, or we go paintballing, or rock climbing, or go and have bubble tea at the bubble chai tea place, or go to Chinatown, or go out, somewhere like, I don't know, some event that's happening, theatre or party or something. I'm more than willing, yeah, to be happy, but I'm not interested to just go to sit around in someone's house to do what? To sit around to do what? To talk about what? I'm not interested. Okay. And then as for my son's dad, he's got a gambling problem. He's got gambling addiction. Okay. And I'm done with investing my energy, giving out my energy, which is for me to build up myself, to build my life, for these narcissistic men to come in my life, okay, to take my time, my energy, to go and invest that time and energy in other people or in other women who've already got like 10 years experience on me, who are already more mature than me. They've already got their family set up together. They've already got their children. They've already got their kids. Why do I want to do that? My son's dad, he's got gambling addiction, yeah? He's got gambling problem, okay? Furthermore, the money that he's supposed to provide me for my son, okay, he's supposed to financially, and whether we're together, if we're not together, okay, he's supposed to provide some form of financial assistance, because we all know growing up children in this day and age, we all know obviously there's expenses, okay. So I'm not interested to go sitting with other people. He's the same, yeah. He chooses to go living with his friend who's married. He's got 3 kids, 3 teenage kids. He goes living with them. He goes paying them rent money. And then the rest of his salary that he gets, he goes putting it in the bookies. The money is supposed to put aside, okay, to help me out for our kid, our child that we brought into the world. Because my kid obviously needs things like uniform for school, clothes, obviously food, activities, after school activities that he's got to go for, because nothing's free these days. Nothing's cheap. Nothing's free these days. So all of this I've got to be paying for. Right now, he needs like new furniture. He needs a new bed, because he's getting bigger. And social workers are on me about getting him his own space, his own bed for his own bedroom, and all of this. So all this is expense. Okay, so the money he's supposed to be providing for me, he goes given to the bookies. He goes gambling it. Okay, so not only does he go living with his friend who's already married. Okay, he gives them a portion, a percentage of his finances. He then gives the rest of his portion, finances, what's supposed to come to me, for my son, for our son. He goes gambling it in the bookies. And when I first met him, I know myself, these gang stalking perpetrators, these people in authorities, I know myself, they have encouraged his gambling addiction. They've encouraged his gambling habit for the purpose of diverting those finances that are supposed to come to me, for them to be wasted. The purpose that I know myself, I know for a fact, they've encouraged his habit in order for it to cause a greater division and a greater split, a greater chasm between myself and him. And the way that they've done this, because I'm sorry, nobody, right, the amount of money that is won in the bookies, okay, nobody wins that amount of money consistently on a consistent basis by going into the casinos, by going into the bookies. Nobody has that. No matter how much luck anybody has, nobody, okay, has that much. Nobody is that lucky. The amount of times that is won big sums at the bookies. And I've not seen any of that money. So I know myself, I know for a fact that these gang stalking perpetrator people in these authoritative positions have done that on purpose. They've done that purposely to make him win and to make me lose in the financial stakes. I know they've done that on purpose to keep me in poverty, because obviously if you're a single mother, you're going to be relying on some provision being made by your child's dad. And if he's not doing that, and then not only is he not doing that, he's basically wasting, yeah, all that cash. He's wasting that financial acumen, okay, that's supposed to be coming to me. It's just going down the drain. It's just going back into the bookies and back into the system. So this is what these gang stalking perps do, okay, to keep families apart, to split families apart, to keep them apart, to keep the money, the economics that's supposed to be circulating in the family, yeah, to keep that family abundant and prosperous, yeah, because this is what they don't want to see happen. They like put little nooks and crannies, yeah, start chipping away at the family's dynamic, right? And they do this in all ways, spiritually, okay, emotionally, financially. Yeah, they create that division, they create that split purposely so that the money that's supposed to be generating within the family keeps going out and being circulated back into the system. Okay, so they do these things on purpose. So this is why I say all of this nonsense is gonna stop in my life, and I'm not interested to go sit in with my family, with my male cousins and their partners, okay, sitting around eating dinner. Okay, to do what? To get more fat and unhealthy. Okay, I'm not interested. So that is what this video is about, and that is the end of this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see me in my next video. Bye bye, adios, have a great day, bye bye. Coming off.